Hey there, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I did channel some information for you, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But first, I want to thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your comments, for helping me to grow my channel. If you are a subscriber, be sure that to hit the notification button so you'll know when I go live or when I upload videos. If you hit the all, because there's an option, hit the all, you are more likely to know when any of these things happen, although with Mercury in retrograde, apparently not always. So let's just see how that goes. All right, so there's a lot happening this month in general, but this week, this time frame, it's just huge. It's very powerful and potent. And so I wanted to channel information, and what I saw for you, you're on a beach. Of course, I saw you as a crab, but you know, whatever. It's like, you know how toward the end of summer, maybe early fall, when the days aren't as long, and so the beach cools down quicker. It takes a lot longer for it to warm up, and it doesn't take as long for it to cool down, you know? And so it was kind of like evening was setting, and it felt kind of cool and damp and chilly. But the sun was still shining, but it was going, you know, down. The shadows were getting long, and you were kind of, it felt cold. It felt forlorn, actually, like kind of that feeling like, oh my gosh, summer vacation is over or whatever. It was that kind of a sad, melancholy kind of energy to it. But yet, staring out over the water, there was a sense of peace. Like things are changing, seasons are changing. It's an ending of a cycle and beginning of a new cycle. And even though there's aspects of the old cycle that you're going to miss, you're at peace with the change. That's what it felt like. You're at peace with the change. The change is happening. You can't stop it. You can't stop the tides from coming in and out when they want. You can't stop the seasons from changing. It's an inevitable change that you're a little melancholy over, but that you're very accepting of and at peace with. Emotionally, the waters were pretty calm. So that is really a good thing. So what do we have happening this week? We've got on Monday. So we start out with the moon in Taurus, but Monday is that 11:11 gateway. And it's like a doorway to the next level. We're kind of on the age of Aquarius. Like, it's dawn, and we're in the dawning of the age of Aquarius for real. The earth is ascending. The energy, we're lifting it up as we raise our personal vibration through joy and happiness, we increase the overall vibration of the planet, and we help to lift it up, right? And so, this portal is another opportunity to step through. So this transitional time of being in this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Sun in Scorpio, there's a lot of deep diving, a lot of going beneath the surface, a lot of digging through what works, what doesn't work, throwing out what doesn't work for you. If you have not done so, spend a little time doing that. But if you're having trouble like wanting to do that, I'm not sure you can really fight it off. But maybe go through a closet and discard some things. Like, if that has holes in it, get rid of it. Or, you know, getting rid of some things that you've hung on to for a while that you don't need, just so you could start shifting that energy for real. It actually all plays in. I just saw you rummaging through a drawer and throwing stuff out. So that's why I brought that up. Okay, so, no, you weren't a crab. All right, so there's that. And so there's this energy of needing to release and let things go. And so we can step through this doorway, not carrying as much of a burden of this karmic. This has been a time when we decided to incarnate in this time frame, it was a courageous thing for you to do. There was so much karma that had to be sorted through and discarded and released, and it is difficult at times. And some of the stuff we've hung on to a long time, oh my gosh, but I've had this shirt since I was in high school, and I had so much fun when I wore it. Well, but it doesn't fit anymore. Let it go, right? So kind of that kind of a thing, this process that we're going through right now, and it's a little painful at times, a lot painful at others, and so, but there's joy and happiness, and if you can focus on the fact that you're lightening the load and how you feel better. And this doorway that I saw was like these big stone pillars. It was like big stone gateway. But you walk in and you walk just a few feet and you're smack up against a gray wall. And you have to turn this way to go down the hallway. So it's like a blind corner. It's like, it's a gateway, yes. We're ascending, yes. But this is still a time of that deep going within, still sorting. We're not stepping through the doorway into the sunlight yet. Like, there's still more work to do. But you're not going to get there unless you go through the doorways. You have to allow yourself to do that. So you have to allow yourself to utilize this full moon to allow you to let go of things that are not working so that you can transition forward and elevate up. Really interesting energy. So right now, this full moon that's happening Tuesday morning, 8:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. So calculate for yourself because I'm not good at that. This full moon is about making your dreams practical. And part of that is being willing to discard what doesn't work. Okay, so that's part of it. But it is in conjunction on Monday. That moon in Taurus is in conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So Taurus likes everything nice and I've got a plan, I'm moving forward, don't get in my way energy, right? But Uranus goes, dude, Nessa is going to work. And then it's like the tornado whipping through. And so everything gets all chaotic and disrupted. And so what kind of got disrupted? Last time that happened, would have been October 23rd of last year. And so that was, the moon was actually full in Taurus, and yeah, how'd that go for you? So if you could think back to what was going on there, because with Mercury in retrograde, this is an opportunity to, whatever you were getting rid of, you were sorting through, you were working through at that time, it's a chance to go through and drill down a little deeper. Do a little more revising of the plan, a little more elimination, a little more of the reworking of it, the renewal, the recommitment to what you were starting back then. And the seeds of intention that you planted back in May of 2018, what were you trying to get started and off the ground then? That cycle is also coming to someone a step, a completion, a need to. So there is this whole energy of 2018 is really, okay, what happened over the last 18 months? And then like that 6-month marker when it hit that full moon in Taurus was part of it. And then now it's a time to really let some of that stuff go and plant new seeds of intention. And it feels financial. My left hand, which is the receiving hand, it is the money hand. My mom used to call it the money hand. I never knew what she was talking about. Now I understand it's the yin hand. So, it is itching like crazy right now. So opening your hands up to receiving, because this full moon in Taurus is this Four of Pentacles energy of blocking and holding tightly to what we have. And so what can we release and let go of so we can move forward? So this is how we start this week. I mean, this week is a bam start. Okay. So last week you were kind of pulled within and resting, and now you're kind of getting smacked, but I don't think it's a public smacking. I think that inside you're like, whoa. It's ending of a cycle. Be at peace with the change. Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised that these are the cards you have. Okay, so overall energy this week, I am not using the tarot. I went with the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And look, you have the Hungry Ghost. Yes, the Hungry Ghost. This is the obsessions, the scarcity consciousness, the attachment to things that are not working. This is that need to open up your hands and know that you are able to receive. And so a lot of the karma that you might be working through at this time with Taurus full moon energy in Scorpio This would be a lot of root chakra stuff. This is the insecurity. This is if you cannot ground yourself down into the earth. If you can, oh, okay, so really just imagine that there is a root that's coming out of your tailbone and it is going right down into the earth, and draw in that energy whenever possible. While you're sitting in a chair, just plant your feet on the floor. Like, consciously think about this and try to ground your energy down into the earth, so that you can take your dreams and goals and make them a very practical plan. You need to be grounded. But somehow along the line, there's this disbursement of energy that's gone into other places because we're not grounded enough to believe that we can be abundant, to believe that we can draw to ourselves whatever it is that we need, to bring in the energy of financial abundance, of manifestation. You can absolutely do this. You came here with this ability to do this because you are a divine spark of God. You co-create with the universe. You can manifest what you want, but you have to be willing to trust that and find that way. During this full moon, write down, I am asking Saint Michael to come and cut the cords of attachment to lack, to impoverishment, to thinking that I'm not good enough to have the abundance of the universe. And sit with your palms open and say, I am open to the abundance of the universe. And then just imagine the weight is so big of the abundance that it. Try to keep your hands open. Try to keep them holding up all of that's coming. There's so much coming. Just hang in there because there's so much coming. Again, I want to remind you that when you step through that gateway, that doorway, it's blind corner. You're going to have to be patient. We have the Swan Queen. The Swan Queen says transformation, intuition, and patience. It's coming. Follow your intuitions. Take the steps that you are guided to take, and understand that it is not going to be tomorrow. Cancer, you have a full moon in Cancer coming up. That's an eclipse on December 25th, 26th, depending on where you are in the world. And then there's that new moon in Capricorn that's happening on January 11th. And then on the 12th, Saturn. On the 12th of January, Saturn and Pluto that rules Scorpio. Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn is in your 7th house of partnerships. It's across the zodiac, right? It's that opposition energy. They are in conjunction. And so that's going to be so powerful. And I feel like everybody collectively, not just Cancer, we're all just working through. That's why it's a blind corner. Because we have more work to do till we get to that new moon eclipse happening. When Saturn finally starts moving past boundaries, moving past the transformation. Saturn moves faster than Pluto. So Pluto is going to be where it is for a while. It's a 84-year cycle. Okay, Saturn is only a 35-year cycle. Only. Something like that. No, 30-year cycle. But it takes like 35 years for them to come back together. But what was going on 35 years ago in your life? Because there's going to be echoes of that happening now. That's a big cycle that had to end. Boom. Moving past that and opening up space from the moment of transformation. And now the boundaries are going to be expanding out. Patience. I know. I know. Feels like we've been waiting forever. I know. So, use this time wisely. You have patience. You have this time frame where things are not going to be moving quickly, right? We already know it. But we can be productive. We can be productive by clearing our physical, our metaphorical, our spiritual, our emotional closets, right? We can use this time so that we're ready. So that we are like, my backpack is light. and I am able to travel now. Imagine that you are packing an emotional bag, carry-on bag for that airplane flight. You can't go showing up with 16 steamer trunks and 14 bags and 3 carry-ons. They're going to be like, well, you can stow all that stuff, but now you're overweight and you can't carry this, and you're going to have to leave some of this behind. And you know what? Think about that. What's essential? What do you really want to carry forward? What are you going to fit in that backpack that you can stick up in the overhead and leave everything else behind, that allows you to be free to travel and explore the new world that you're going to find yourself in? The one where you're bringing your dreams into reality. Wow, Jaguar showed up again. Okay. Wow. Oh, okay. So, I'm actually going to read these because they're amazing. And I'm going to read some more at the end. I know there's a lot of reading today, but this is such intense energy, and I felt like I didn't want to make a mistake and say the wrong thing. I want you to hear not just me, but Spirit, so that you can. These messages were channeled from Spirit that I'm reading today, and I feel like integrate them and take what parts mean something to you of the ancient ones. And when I see the ancient ones, I will of course read it, but it just reminded me of how much the ancestors are able to communicate with us right now while the veil is thin, and they are just knocking on the door to everybody. And so take some time to as you go to sleep, ask your ancestors to come and talk to you. Any loved ones that have passed on, do they have messages they could bring for you? And to keep a dream journal so you can write down whatever you remember when you get up, so you can process the information. So we have the Jaguar, the Arrow, the Ancient Ones, and we have many paths. You're never off your path. There's lots of ways to get to where you're going to go. And you have free will, and you may choose your direction as we go. But we're going to start with the Ancient Ones, and we're just going to work our way numerically through here, and that was the number 1 card. The Ancient Ones are the shamans of the old who defeated death and escaped from the tyranny of time. The Ancient Ones once walked the earth like us in flesh and bone. Now they reside in infinity and can counsel us after we say yes to our calling. They are available to help us attain our full realization. The Arrow. Receiving the symbol reminds you that when you are in alignment with your heart and soul, you are on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling, release attachments, free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition, now to be revealed in a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world. The Arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. You would do yourself so much of a benefit to ask St. Michael to come and cut the cords of attachment to poverty consciousness, to feelings of lack, of low self-esteem and self-worth, because honestly, the spirit world wants to help you move forward if you can just lighten the load. You just need to lighten the load. And then we have the Jaguar. Jaguar is the protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. The Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, and fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. Such Scorpio work. Light and dark, night and day. Loving and accepting all the parts of you and being willing to release the parts that don't work. They no longer serve. They've been here to teach you a lesson, and now it's time to let them go. Many paths. All paths lead to spirit. What you bring to your journey is what will determine what is your path of suffering. a path of wisdom, a path of bliss, or a path of loss. Releasing the baggage that's holding you down, right? What you bring, your attitude, your hopes, your dreams, your willing hands, your open to receiving hands, right? That's going to help choose your path. Consider the traveler who met two stonemasons. He asks one what he is doing, and the mason replies, "I'm squaring out the stone." He asks the other, who is doing the exact same thing, and gets the reply, "I am building a cathedral." One man has a job. The other man has found his work and his calling. He is a part of an endeavor much greater than himself. Be sure you pick a path with a heart. Wow. I kind of want to stop there. That feels so good. Okay, here we go. The void of course, Moon. Nothing will come of the situation. This is the one you let go of, just in case you were wondering. And how do you know what it is? Spend a little time in meditation and contemplation. Get in contact with Spirit to help you decide what it is that you need to release, that you need to let go of, so that you can move forward. On Wednesday, the moon moves into Gemini. This is your 12th house. This is where your dreams start to really maybe tickle at your consciousness. It is about self-reflecting. It is about understanding that what you put out into the world is what you are going to receive back. So if you exude the energy of curiosity, of excitement, of following your path and your goal, the world is going to open up and reflect that back to you. If you are fearful and timid and scared and thinking you're always going to fail, that's what the world's going to reflect back to you. So what is going to bring you the pleasure? What is going to make you feel like you're on your life mission, your life calling? Wow. We have indigo. Nice. The person you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural-born leader. Indigos, if this is like, whoa, what is that? Or I want to know more about that, I really recommend that you spend a little time doing the search on this. At the top of my head, I can't remember the dates of birth and everything, but the indigos came to light the way to show us they are a special class of souls that have incarnated to help raise the vibration of the earth. You have parents and visualize success. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal from pain associated with your mother or father. And then we have visualize your success. And so I want to say, if you had a situation where my generation in particular, our parents they didn't want us to set our sights too high because they didn't want us to be disappointed, and, you have to work hard and you might not get much, but that's okay, and you had to do everything right. It's my way or the highway kind of attitude. There was a lot of that energy. Not a lot of self-determination, a lot of, in the interest of trying to help you be a good person, you may have been made at times to feel less than that you had to be perfect. Well, guess what? You are perfect. You came here to learn lessons, to grow, you chose this time to come in, to be aware, to help show the way that we are not our experiences, we are not our emotions, Cancer in particular, right? We're not our emotions. We are the divine spark of God having this experience. Visualize your success. Visualize that your hands are wide open to the abundance of the universe, and there's so much that your hands are shaking just trying to hold it. And then visualize as your hands are shaking and you're like, I don't know if I can handle all this. I want you to visualize the divine coming in and supporting your hand and steadying it and making it able to hold the infinite abundance of the universe. Please forgive your parents. They didn't know what they were doing when they did what they did. You don't forgive them because they need your forgiveness. You forgive them because you need to forgive them. Because that is some of this emotional baggage that you can leave at the gate. They did the best they could. And now the best that you can do is to understand that they were human and you're human. And you have a chance now, when that moon moves into Cancer, to nurture yourself, to show how resilient you are by cutting out what isn't growing, what's dead, what doesn't work, and allow the new growth to come in. Creating the balance in your life by using your head and your heart, the wisdom of experience, but also the intuition of your heart, and forgiving and finding the beauty and the joy in life and committing to the new destination and leaving the past behind. In Cancer, it's so hard for such a tenacious sign. We grip, and I say we because I am a Cancer sun, Mercury, Venus, North Node. I mean, I understand this energy, right? So we hang on to pain, and we hang on to relationships, and we hang on to clothes from 1929. I mean, we just hang on to whatever, right? It's hard to let go of what we don't need anymore. But be like the hermit crab that outgrows his shell, right? And goes and finds a new one. Be willing to leave behind what isn't working so you can expand your life in ways that you can't even imagine right now. Be willing to open up, step through that doorway. It's a blind corner, I know. But you don't need to take all that stuff with you. You're like, but I don't know what I need because I don't know where I'm going. That's right, you don't. But you can probably figure out what you don't need. You don't need the relationships with the holes in it that make you feel less than. You don't need the relationships that tear you down and make you feel bad about yourself. You don't need the negative self-talk that makes you doubt yourself and makes you wonder whether or not you're worthy. You don't need that sense of lack, that sense of impoverishment, that poverty consciousness, that limited, stifling attitude. That you know you don't need. So start by leaving that behind. I have a feeling when you get to the next doorway, you'll have a better idea of what you need to take. So maybe you can't get all the way down to a backpack to start. But you can certainly drop a few of those steamer trunks off. You have nurture and kindness. And I think this is energy that you give yourself. You are nurturing and you are kind to most people you run into. And sometimes we overgive. We overextend ourselves. We don't keep enough for ourselves. And when I see this nurture card, look, she is in the fetal position. She is caring for herself. And this kindness here, this is a child being kind to an ancestor. And so I think that's part of that forgiveness of those that came before and what they didn't know and how they didn't know how to treat you and all the mistakes they made along the way, you know, that be kind in your thoughts about that. Like, they didn't know any better. It would have been nice, but maybe then you wouldn't be who you are now anyways, and you wouldn't be able to do these amazing things of being able to learn how to self-love and nurture self and forgive others and forgive yourself, right? Because obviously you are not perfect. Newsflash. Shocker. Okay, this is a message from Spirit. This is what Spirit wants you to know. Need a little more light, old eyes, and really small print. Dearest you, Are you taking yourself and your problems too seriously? Maybe the fear of the future is weighing in on you. We would like you to take a little break from all that and start having fun. When you stop fixating on what has been making you heavy-hearted, we get a chance to move some magic in your direction. We just want you to let go a little. Spirit needs some room and gets very inspired by your laughter when you have fun. When was the last time you got really loose, silly, and goofy? Maybe you need to go dancing or to watch some funny comedy to make you laugh, or call the friend you know who will remind you how ridiculous and delightfully giddy you can be. You will return refreshed and renewed, ready once again to see the world as less daunting, and you'll be ready to receive in the perfect timing the bounty that the universe has for you. Go have some fun. You have some time, right? You have time right now. So be patient, right? And go have some fun and open up your hands to receive. All right? All right, Cancer, you take care. And we'll talk soon.